Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. I'm Michelle. Today we're going to make a really neat little hors d'oeuvre that doesn't involve any cooking, so it's great for summertime. They're called cucumber dill salmon bites. Come along and we'll get started. Our ingredient list is English cucumbers, and you can leave the peel on if you wish or peel it. I'm actually going to peel these a little bit. 1 brick of softened room temperature cream cheese. Take a whole bundle of dill if you can. You can buy little flat packs of dill if you can't grow it right now in the Big Valley. We probably could have it in the ground, but I didn't get it in time. Some salmon. I just buy cold smoked sockeye salmon. I try to buy wild salmon whenever possible. It tastes better, and it really isn't much more expensive anymore. We will also be using about 4 cloves of garlic, fresh pressed. And I'm thinking about topping this with just a little bit of lemon zest. That sounds really good on top. 2 optional ingredients that you could totally use would be capers. Rinse the capers before you incorporate them into your snack. Finely diced red onion. Because if we use capers and red onion, it'll almost be like a traditional lox and bagels minus all the carbs. Let's do this. Let's do this. Cream the softened cream cheese with a hand mixer. And we want a spreadable consistency. So if it's not super soft, you could throw in a splash of some cream. And I'm talking like maybe a half a teaspoon at a time because you won't need much. Or you could put in just the tiniest bit of lemon juice, and I'm going to use just the tiniest bit of lemon juice here because I just want it to have that little bit of brightness in the flavor. And I'm going to mix after each ingredient. It's already smelling good. Now we're going to throw in a little bit of fresh minced garlic, and I'm only going to do, this is a little bit for me, 2 teaspoons of fresh minced garlic. So we'll mix that in as well. You might be tempted to put a little bit of salt in here, but please remember that there's going to be salmon on top of some of these. So at this point, if you wanted to add salt because you're not going to put salmon on some for friends who don't like fish or people who are allergic to fish, I would remove some and put it off to the side. Okay, and now I started putting the dill in before I had the camera on. Sorry about that. Okay, this is about a tablespoon of dill, and I've chopped it up finely. Oh, and I missed a little bit of the stem. Try to keep the stems out because they'll be a little bit hard to eat, and they just, oh goodness, I had 2 of them there. Okay, they'll be a little bit hard to chew on, and anyway, so I'm gonna start with that tablespoon. Move this out of the way a little bit and mix it together. This is all dependent on your taste and preference, okay? I think that would be good. You don't want to have any one flavor overtaking the whole thing. And if you wanted to do some prep the night before, at this point, I would put this into the refrigerator overnight. Now we're going to start assembling. I've already cleaned, peeled, and sliced my cucumbers. And then all of my other ingredients have been done. This is a little bit of lemon peel that's been zested. This is my remaining dill. I've already taken the salmon out of the package, and knowing what size my cucumbers were, I just went ahead and sliced them and peeled them apart accordingly so that they would fit the various pieces. You saw me do this already. This is the cream cheese mixture. And then I've already rinsed and put my optional capers into a small bowl, and finely minced red onion to do the same thing. Again, these are optional, these last 2 ingredients. So let's get started. I'm just using a small spreader. And because these are just going to have the mixture on them, I am going to sprinkle these with a tiny, tiny bit of dill. and that way they have a little color on them. You could alternate or also put a little bit of lemon zest on there, which I'll do with the next one. And then I'm going to finish those off and we'll get started on the ones with salmon. You know, I'm going to put dill on everything because it is kind of the star of the show. See? Oh, that is so pretty and bright. My goodness. Pro tip, you might want to damp these off a little bit with a paper, woo, look at that, with a paper towel, because the cream cheese tends to just slide ever so slightly. So look at that, it went on so much easier. There we go. I pulled that away a little bit so you couldn't see. All right, and so now we're just gonna keep on keeping on. We have a couple of folks today who are gonna be enjoying this for lunch who are not going to wanna have any salmon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do, basically each person's gonna get a little tray. You can put this on a little thicker if you wish. And we are almost done with this little tray. And when we're done, we're gonna go ahead and start the ones with salmon on them. This round only has salmon on top. So I've already put the cream cheese mixture on top, and now I'm gonna top each one with a nice piece of this cold smoked salmon. Oh my goodness, you guys, that looks so tasty. Smells good too. Make them look clean and tidy. There we go. Now, because I'm not gonna put any onion or capers on these, I'll leave them as is, and to hold them in place, you can buy these little skewers. They're bamboo skewers, and so they're sustainable. There we go. And just do that to keep them, you know, in place. Now we're down to our last little bit. Just so you know, I took a little bit and put it off to the side before I put anything in it, because we do have people who may not want any onions or capers, and I want to make sure that if I have leftovers, because I do have some extra cucumber over here, that I can go ahead and accommodate those guests. Now I'm just going to sprinkle, that's about a teaspoon and a half, not many capers, because even the one with onions is going to have capers in it at this point. And just get them mixed together before spreading them onto the cucumber slices. Okay? I'm just having so much fun with this. There are so many ways that you can make them. These have capers added to the cream cheese, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna throw salmon on these. Because these are gonna have onion on them, I want them to be easily distinguished from those that don't, okay? So, let's see. We'll put the skewer through it. Put those skewers on pretty quickly, by the way. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle the onion on top. Look at that, isn't it pretty? It's like a little party on a plate. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the tiniest bit of lemon zest over the top. Good night. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is really cool. Oh, I hope you try this. This would be a good time to give us a like and maybe go ahead and subscribe down there. There will be a little Big Valley Living logo, a little circle down there. Go ahead and hit that for us, please, if you don't mind. All right, see now, I just want to show you, we do have a few, little rounds of cucumber left, but we are technically out of cream cheese. I also have a tiny bit of salmon left. I'm just going to refrigerate that and use it for maybe an omelet tomorrow morning. We do have a little bit of dill and a little bit of lemon zest left. So in this case, I'm not really worried too much, you know, about making sure that it's just on top of that, because now we're done. So I'm just going to kind of add it for some color and flavor. And you could do a little bit more lemon zest if you want, but I'm just trying to make it so that we're not wasting anything. Thanks again for joining Big Valley Living while we made our cucumber dill salmon bites. As you can see, it's super adaptable, super flexible. You can adjust completely to your own taste. I really wanted to make them as pretty as we could. You can absolutely make these the day before and put them in the refrigerator. This, I think, ended up being my favorite one with the salmon, onions, and lemon and capers. Oh my God, they just look so adorable. Regardless of how you decide to do it, you can make these a day ahead of time, put them in the fridge. Keep them refrigerated though until you have company, because you want them to be crisp and cool. And I'm thinking this would be a great lunch. Like today, we're working in the yard and we're gonna go over to a friend who's also working in the yard and share with them for lunch. Great make ahead hors d'oeuvre, and really a showstopper for, say, a 4th of July get together, or actually year round you could make this, but really nice on a hot summer day. Thank you so much for visiting us. Don't forget to like, share this with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already.